Hey guys, okay, so today we are doing the my first time tag. And this is a tag of questions about your firsts. So let's get on. The first question of the first tag is, do you still talk to your first love? See, I'm kind of in denial as to who my first love is or was. If we're talking about my first boyfriend, no, that did not end very well. If we're talking about the first person that I said I was in love with, no, that didn't end so well. But there are a few people that I still can, well, okay, that's not really a first, is it? There's one person that I think is my first genuine love, and yes, I do still talk to him. Although there was also that other, I'm going to stop talking about people I love now and move on to what was your first alcoholic drink? Vodka. When I was about 14 or 15, I had a friend come over and we were looking for my dad's laptop, and in his laptop bag we found a bottle of vodka, so we decided, let's give that a shot instead. We forgot about the computer pretty quickly. What was your first job? Okay, my first actual job was technically at KFC. Good old K-Fry. But before that I used to do like little jobs for my family friend's business, useful chick stuff. So like putting barcodes on things or boxing things, or... Sorry if the lighting goes ridiculous, I cannot figure out anything better than this, but I'm hoping to move soon, guys, and then we will find a much better place to film. Who was the first person to text me today? Pulling out my handy dandy iPhone. I think technically my first text from someone was from an automated service, but from an actual person it was my mum. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? I can't actually think that I thought of someone before I was... I don't know, maybe it was my roommate who was going to Europe, lucky ass bitch. Who was your first grade teacher? I can't remember first grade. I think it was Miss Haley or Miss Harvey. One was my grade 1 and one was my grade 2, and they both looked very similar, and I have no standout memories of the teachers themselves, and I hardly have any standout memories of the years. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? This is a good question, because it could have been overseas when I was 2, or it could have been to Queensland before then, but I can't remember anything. Okay, I can't even remember going overseas when I was 2. First flight I remember was probably to Queensland from Sydney, because that's where I'm from originally, and now I'm in Brisbane because my entire family's just all over the place. That's why. Let's be real. Okay, who was your first best friend and do you still talk? Technically my first best friend was Jacqueline, and no, we don't. We've been best friends, or we were best friends when we were like 3, 4. And that was because our parents, well, our mothers were friends at the gym. And when they went to the gym, they would leave us in the crèche and we would, I think we'd play games. We used to pretend we knew how to play Tamagotchi. We had no idea what we were doing. We just thought we were so cool with those Tamagotchis. In fact, I don't even think they were real Tamagotchis. And they certainly weren't ours. But we pretended that we would use them and pretend that we would know what we were doing. So, hi Jacqueline! I still don't know how to use a Tamagotchi. Where was your first sleepover? I think it might have been to Laura's house. The first one that I can remember was at Laura's house. But there could have been some before. I can't remember. That was like grade 2. Who was the first person you talked to today? My roommate Milo. Or it was either my roommate Milo or my dad on the phone. Whose wedding were you in for the first time? I think it would have been my dad's friend's brother in Sweden. But then they came to Australia and my dad had us all be, not so much in it, but we went to it. And I think that was the first wedding I went to. Except technically I went to my parents' wedding because I was like a little like bloop in my mama's belly. And she tried very hard to still look gorgeous. Well, she still looked gorgeous even though she had like a little me growing inside of her going ha 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 ha. Anyway. Anyways, what was the first thing you did this morning? I think it would have been check Facebook. What was the first concert you ever went to? Sorry guys, I'm getting sick, so I don't know if I'm making any sense when I speak. First concert I went to was technically Soundwave this year? Yeah. Yeah. First broken bone was my arm. And I'll show you, that is the scar from where my bone came out. How delightful. I broke both bones in there and it's still a little bit crooked. No one can really tell except me because everyone is their worst critic. But that was my first broken bone and my only one so far. So fingers crossed, more broken bones. No. Woohoo! First piercing was my ears. I've had them pierced quite a few times. I had them pierced when I was like 7 and then they got infected and grew over. So I got them pierced again. Then I think I had to take them out and then I had them pierced again. And then I pushed one of the backings of my earrings into my ear and had to have it surgically removed. So I had to get them pierced again. I've had them pierced so many times, you guys, and I love piercings. Obviously, I've had this done. I've had my tragus, I've had my dermals, I've had my navel. And I'm hoping to get more. Because now I actually know how to look after them properly. So, yeah. First foreign country you've gone to, I couldn't tell you honestly because I'm sure it was something else, but the first foreign country that I remember going to was Japan, actually, and that was lovely. But that was when I was like 12, and then before that, when I was 2, I told you this earlier, when I was 2, I went like all over the world, so don't know anything about that trip. I think my parents kind of used that as their like honeymoon type deal. I don't really know. First movie you remember seeing was probably The Little Mermaid with my grandmother, or it was, I think that was probably the first one that I ever saw, or it was The Lion King on VCR or VHS, like on cassette, no, not cassette, you know what I mean, tape. Where am I up to? When was your first detention? Grade 2. And I've had several since then. I'm not a good girl. Who was my first roommate? Technically my ex-boyfriend. But then, these guys. This is my first shared accommodation, which is excellent. If I had one wish, what would it be? How's that a first? Okay, maybe this is like if I had my first wish, what would it be? In that case, I wish that life would make more sense and that it would be a little bit easier. But then if it wasn't easy, I probably wouldn't be as strong as I am now. So maybe I just wish that I had more insight and that life was just as complicated. So that's probably a really deep and intense answer. Most people would probably not give that kind of answer. What is something you would learn if you had the chance? Swedish, actually. I really want to, yeah. What were the first lessons you ever took? Swimming. I did swimming when I was a little kid because apparently when I was like really young, I dived into the pool and my mum freaked out because I didn't know how to swim yet, and then she came in after me. But my mum could have made this all up, so I don't really know. But I know that swimming was my first lesson ever. So those are all the my first time tag questions. So I'll leave the questions in the bar below so that you can do it because I tag you, and I specifically tag Tia Simone as I always do. And I wish I could tag my brother, but he doesn't do tags, damn it, which is annoying. So, I might tag someone else. So, anyways, I love you guys. I hope you enjoy my new camera. I so far love it. And that is my first time tag, and you will see me in the next video. Have an amazing day, and you will see me in the next video, wherever it is. I can't figure it out on this camera yet, because I haven't yet. I can, I just haven't. Anyway, I'm rambling. Have an amazing day. You will see me in the next video, and I now have to go to work. So, yay! Whee! Oh, I can't do that. Anyways, love you guys. Bye!